Before you actually live with a Shih Tzu, the internet, random dog groups, and that one expert friend will fill your head with all kinds of confident claims. They sound convincing until the day you bring a Shih Tzu into your home. That's when the whole illusion cracks. Every neat little assumption you believed starts falling apart like old paint. And you realize this tiny, fluffy cotton ball creature is nothing like what people told you. Maybe you thought Shih Tzus were lazy. Then one peaceful evening, your dog shoots up from a nap like it just chugged 3 energy drinks and sprints around the house like a turbocharged rocket. Maybe you assume they don't need exercise. Skip just one daily walk and suddenly your sweet angel transforms into a mysterious little gremlin chewing random objects, barking at imaginary threats, pacing like it's plotting something dramatic. Perhaps you pictured Shih Tzus as pure lapdogs, glued to your side all day. Absolutely not. These dogs have personality. They cuddle when they feel like it, ignore you when they don't, and occasionally hold full-blown arguments with the vacuum cleaner as if defending their philosophy on life. And then there's the myth of being low maintenance or quiet. Spoiler, both are wrong. Very wrong. A Shih Tzu is not just a cute decorative accessory. They are a delightful mix of sweetness, stubbornness, humor, intelligence, and constant surprises wrapped in fur and attitude. Part 1 is only the beginning. The deeper you go, the more you'll understand living with a Shih Tzu requires love. Yes, but it also requires accepting the truth behind the myths. One of the most common things people say usually with great confidence is that Shih Tzus are lazy. The kind of dog that just sleeps all day, barely moves, and only wakes up to eat. And yes, sure, they do sleep a lot. They're professionals at it. They can nap on the couch, the floor, your shoes, your laundry, or even halfway off the bed like gravity doesn't apply to them. But lazy, not even close. A Shih Tzu has one of the most unpredictable energy patterns you'll ever witness. One moment they're snoring loud enough to shake the universe, and the next moment they're zooming across the room like someone hit the fast-forward button on their life. They go from ancient monk meditating in silence to tiny tiger possessed by lightning in less than 2 seconds. And the best part, there is never a warning. No build-up, no preparation, just pure, chaotic energy exploding out of nowhere. You'll see your Shih Tzu sprint in circles, jump over invisible obstacles, skid on the floor like a race car drifting, and then suddenly poof they stop, lay down, and fall asleep again like nothing happened. The truth is, Shih Tzus are not lazy. They're balanced. They know how to chill, and they know how to have fun. They enjoy their naps, but they also enjoy playtime, walks, toys, and attention. They may not be marathon runners, but they're certainly not rug decorations either. Calling a Shih Tzu lazy is like calling a phone broken because it goes into sleep mode. Trust me the moment you underestimate them. They'll prove you wrong in the most dramatic, hilarious way possible. Another myth people love to repeat is that Shih Tzus don't need exercise. As if being small automatically means they can live their entire life inside the house like a retired king. Cute idea, completely wrong in reality. Just because a Shih Tzu isn't built like a husky doesn't mean they don't need to move. In fact, a Shih Tzu without exercise is like a soda bottle shaken too long. The pressure builds and builds until one day it explodes in the form of chaos. True chaos. Skip a single walk and you'll see the symptoms immediately. Suddenly, your sweet little angel becomes moody, restless, extra dramatic, and weirdly creative with their bad decisions. Random barking at nothing. Check. Chewing on things they normally ignore. Check. Zoomies at 2 a.m. for absolutely no reason. Double check. A simple 20 to 30-minute walk each day works like magic. The fresh air clears their mind. The movement burns the extra energy. And the world outside gives them something real to explore instead of inventing imaginary threats inside the living room. Walks also make them behave better. A tired Shih Tzu is a good Shih Tzu. A bored Shih Tzu. That's the one you'll find standing on the dining table, staring at you like it owns the place. People who say Shih Tzus don't need exercise have probably only seen pictures of them, not lived with one. These dogs may not ask for long hikes, but they absolutely need their daily dose of movement. Without it, they turn into furry little agents of chaos. So yes, they're small, but they aren't statues. Give them their walk for your sanity, not just theirs. People love to imagine Shih Tzus as tiny royal ornaments, soft, decorative creatures who live exclusively in your lap, sipping imaginary tea and judging the world from a comfortable cushion. And yes, they do love cuddles. They're masters at melting into your chest like warm mochi. But believing they want to stay in your lap all day, that's where the fantasy ends. A real Shih Tzu has opinions. Many opinions. Loud ones, chaotic ones, and adorable, dramatic, stubborn ones. Some days they decide you're the center of the universe and glue themselves to your lap like double-sided tape. Other days, they simply stand up, walk away, and give you that I need space attitude like a teenager who suddenly hates everyone. They are affectionate, but they also have a deep sense of independence, a kind of royal spirit that says, I love you, but don't touch me right now. A Shih Tzu explores everything. They patrol the house like tiny security guards. They choose random windows to stare out of for hours. They investigate bags, laundry baskets, and suspicious corners like undercover detectives. And sometimes they try to talk to the vacuum cleaner as if settling a long-lasting feud. They are curious, nosy, observant, emotional, occasionally dramatic. But just a lap dog. Not a chance. Sure, they'll come to your lap when they want cuddles. And when they do, it's the sweetest moment ever. But the idea that they exist only for cuddling is one of the biggest misunderstandings about this breed. A Shih Tzu is a companion, not a plush toy. They love comfort, but they love exploring, observing, and expressing themselves just as much. So yes, they cuddle, but don't be fooled. Behind that cute face is a tiny emperor with free will. If someone told you Shih Tzus are low maintenance, they were either lying, joking, or had never touched a real Shih Tzu coat in their entire life. These dogs aren't low maintenance, they're living, breathing luxury carpets that require spa-level commitment. Let's start with the hair. That long, silky, beautiful coat you see in pictures. It doesn't magically stay like that. It tangles. It knots. It forms little dreadlocks of chaos if you skip brushing for even a day. 2 days. Congratulations, you now own a walking lint roller with attitude. You'll find yourself sitting on the floor, brush in hand, negotiating with a dog who acts like you're committing a crime against nature. And even if you choose the short puppy cut, don't get too confident. You still have to brush it. You still have to clean their eyes. You still have to check their ears. You still have to bathe them more often than you'd expect. Grooming doesn't disappear. It just goes undercover. Their face alone is a full-time job. Tear stains, eye gunk, food magically welded to the mustache. Sometimes you'll wonder how a dog this small can generate this much mess in such a tiny area. Skipping grooming is not an option unless you enjoy chaos. Once I skipped brushing for 48 hours, just 48, and spent half an hour detangling knots that could have been used to anchor a boat. So no. Shih Tzus are not easy to groom. They're adorable. Yes. They're cuddly. Absolutely. But grooming, that's a commitment, a lifestyle, a silent promise you make the day you bring one home. The good news, once you master it, that soft, clean, fluffy Shih Tzu strutting around your house is worth every minute. There's a rumor floating around the internet, a gentle little myth that Shih Tzus are quiet dogs. Calm, silent. Peaceful little clouds of fluff drifting around the house without making a sound. And yes, sometimes they are quiet, usually when they're asleep, or eating, or plotting something. But the idea that Shih Tzus don't bark much, that's pure optimism, a fairy tale. A dream created by people who have never actually lived with one. Here's the truth Shih Tzus bark. They bark when the doorbell rings. They bark when someone walks past the window. They bark when they hear a strange noise outside. They bark when they imagine a strange noise outside. They bark at birds, at shadows, at leaves, at absolutely nothing, and occasionally at everything. It's not that they're aggressive, they're not. They're simply alert, and they feel the need to narrate the entire world like a tiny, furry commentator. If there's movement, they report it. If there's suspicious silence, they report that too. If they're excited, bored, offended, or confused, guess what? They report it. Sometimes the barking doesn't even make sense. One moment they're relaxing peacefully, and the next moment, woof, 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 as if the universe suddenly delivered a message only they could hear. And then you walk over, look around, find absolutely nothing. And your Shih Tzu just stares at you like, "You're welcome. I saved us." Not all Shih Tzus bark the same amount, of course. Some talk more, some talk less. But most of them absolutely have something to say, and they're not shy about saying it. So, no, Shih Tzus are not silent monks. They're tiny commentators with opinions, feelings, and a surprisingly dramatic sense of duty. By the time you reach this point, something becomes very clear. The Shih Tzu people talk about online is not the Shih Tzu you meet in real life. The real one, the one snoring beside you, the one barking at leaves, the one rolling on your clean laundry is a creature of beautiful contradictions. They're sleepy and energetic, independent and clingy, sweet and stubborn, chill and dramatic. They're a tiny package of opposites wrapped in fur and attitude, and that's exactly what makes them unforgettable. People love to oversimplify this breed. They're lazy. They don't need exercise. They're just lapdogs. They're easy to groom. They don't bark. And after living with a Shih Tzu, you finally understand how hilariously wrong those statements are. These dogs are full of surprises. They aren't background decorations. They aren't soft toys. They aren't quiet little statues waiting politely for affection. They are personalities real, complex, emotional, and surprisingly smart little beings who make your home feel alive. A Shih Tzu will frustrate you. They will challenge you. They will test your patience. They will bark at invisible enemies and refuse to come when called and take forever to choose a place to pee. But they will also make you laugh, comfort you without being asked, curl into your lap on the exact days you need warmth, and look at you with a softness that feels almost human. Living with a Shih Tzu isn't about managing a pet, it's about getting to know a tiny, fluffy roommate with opinions, moods, and a very specific way of running the house. And once you understand the real Shih Tzu, not the myths, you'll realize something simple. They're not perfect, but they're perfect for you.
You want some pets, huh? Good boy.
Oh, look at you. You just want cuddles, don't you?